I think I was probably brought up in a very normal fashion. We did have a house. I do have brothers and sisters. I have wonderful parents, wonderful family, really very wonderful family. I think we're a very highly motivated family. But again, I would never use the word ambition. And because to me, ambition's a bad word. When I see people saying, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm so ambitious and it really sickens me to listen to them talking. I've never seen anything to the extent that I have in New York. It now, from a real estate standpoint, has probably become the hottest city in the world. People are flocking here by droves. And I guess a lot of things had to do with it. Mostly, I feel it was the psychology of making New York a winner as opposed to a loser. Probably it's the greatest thing that the city ever did, and I think the city is the first to acknowledge it. They went overboard. They gave a tremendous break for the first time, actually, in the history of New York. We got this commercial tax abatement. We took a building that had one person working. We now employ 2,000 people, and we employed during peak construction periods over 4,000 people.
And we congratulate Donald Trump today.
Thank you very much, Troy. I appreciate it.
We've employed 5,000 construction workers. There'll be many people employed in running the building, and I think it's a very important step for New York. I think it's a vital step for New York.
Anytime. I think it's great. We're going to release 10,000 balloons, so have a good time.
When did you first get the idea for the Trump Tower?
We really had the idea about 3 years ago when we realized the site was available, and we wanted to do something great. And this is really how it all came about.
Oh, you really have. What was the economic situation in New York back then?
The economic situation for this location has always been great. In good times and bad times, Fifth Avenue and 57th Street has always really been very strong. You see it just in the play today. It's an exciting game. The people are going wild. The quality of the league has made it exciting. The quality of the players has brought 65,000 people out to watch a game in Birmingham, Alabama. I suspect that Bear Bryant might be looking down on the stadium right now.
Last year, it appeared that the USFL had a good plan A. They came out of the block strong. Big start. No plan B. Plan B looks like it's in place this year.
Well, I think last year, I disagree with the way it was handled last year, frankly. You know that. I've been very open. You really have to go out. You have to get the stars. Last year, it started off reasonably strong. This year, it's going to stay strong. You're going to see a very big week next week. You're going to see a huge week the following week. It's going to stay strong. It's going to stay strong for a long time.
All along from 72nd all the way down to 59th, we're going to have magnificent marinas, shopping, restaurants, everything all over the Hudson River.
How much trouble is the city giving you? How much trouble are West Side community people giving you?
Well, trouble. I mean, what's trouble? I've had trouble all my life as far as that's concerned.
If you just decided I'm going somewhere else, I'm going to live in a trailer, and you wanted to sell off everything, you'd start with your real estate development, all of your real estate holdings, and whatever else you have, your casinos, so on and so forth. You sold everything. Right. How big would that check be that you put in your pocket when you headed west for the trailer?
Well, I hate to disappoint, but I have zero idea, David. How come this seat is at such a low level? You know, I'm looking at him. He's got this stage rigged, folks.
No. But
that seat is a good half, 6 inches higher than my seat.
And so am I.
Huh? I see.
I think that people should make a contribution, and a major contribution, other countries, to this country for what we're doing to keep their freedom and to keep them free and to allow them to be free. And would you rather have that, or would you rather see this country to go totally bust in another couple of years because this country cannot afford to defend Japan and every other country in the world? It just cannot afford it.
It wouldn't be a tax. It would be more a payment in kind, like for landing space at airports, right?
It would be, you could call it anything you want. Yeah. To be perfectly honest, I don't care what it's called, but I think that Japan and all of these other countries should certainly pay. They can well afford to pay.
Are you a Bush Republican?
No, I think I'm really, the people that I do best with are the people that drive the taxis. You know, wealthy people don't like me because I'm competing against them all the time, and they don't like me, and I like to win. The fact is, I go down the streets of New York, and the people that really like me are the taxi drivers and the workers, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I really get a great response.
Why are you a Republican?
I have no idea. I mean, I am a Republican because I just believe in certain principles of the Republican Party. I was with George Bush today. I listened to George Bush. I listened to what he said, and I believe very strongly in what he said. I think he is going to be a great president.
Why not toward the USA or toward the New England? Why not just drop the name Trump?
The problem is you wouldn't be here doing an interview right now. That's the problem. And we've gone over it, and I would have almost preferred if we could have done without. And somehow now it's been almost received beautifully. It's just been so successful and so nice, and the coverage has been so fantastic. A lot of the races came actually because of the name. So the name has been a plus, and Again, I wanted to be successful because that's important for the name.
Let's look ahead. 10 years from now, where do you feel the Tour de Trump will be?
I think that with a little maturity, with a little time, with a little effort, and with NBC's help, we'll make this the equivalent of the Tour de France. They were supposed to take my helicopter, but they didn't want to wait for 2 hours because mine was coming back. So they rented a helicopter from an outside company that probably didn't know what they were doing and gone. Now they call me and they say to me, walking out of the office waving, we'll see you in an hour, we'll call you in an hour, do you want to come? And I'm almost saying yes, and I just decided I was too busy. You know, fortunately, I was doing something where I was busy. But they said, we'll call you in an hour. And then I get a call from one of the secretaries, Mr. Trump, they never showed up. Could you explain? Do you know where they landed? And you don't even think about it. You say, well, I'm sure they landed at maybe a different airport. They landed on the roof of one of the buildings where we have heliports on all the buildings. And then all of a sudden you get a call from the police saying, Mr. Trump, I'm sorry to inform you. And it is a shocker. But it showed me how fragile life is.
Just briefly, you conceive of a development in a site. It usually starts with a piece of land. You conceive of this. You go and you get your zoning, or you have your zoning. You get your architects, you get your engineers, you get your planners. You design something that you think is going to be nice and economic and all of the things that it's supposed to be. You then go out and get your financing, ideally. You used to go out and get your financing. Today, you don't even think about it. You then go out and get your financing. You build your job. You hopefully have a success, and you've created a lot of jobs in between for lots of people that are buying lots of different things for the families, including other homes, et cetera, et cetera.
I watched Mike, and I've been with Mike, and I've seen him, and people really take advantage of this man. And I want to tell you something. I think this is one of those examples. Now, I know we have a system of juries, and I know we have a system where if you're found guilty, you're guilty. But somebody like me, maybe who has a little bit more independent streak, can say, hey, Mike Tyson, in my opinion, should really be given another break. I mean, they put him in jail before he was even guilty, as far as I was concerned.
Do you believe he'll fight again, and do you believe he'll ever be the heavyweight champ again?
I think he'll fight again. I don't know that he'll be the heavyweight champ again. In the prison that he's in, they don't allow boxing. That's a long layoff.
For whatever reason, you have a closed mind. I don't know why. Perhaps you could tell me.
No, Mr. Trump, I have a closed mind against evidence that is not substantiated.
Oh, well.
I have a closed mind against statements that are made about other people in general.
You're going to be very embarrassed in 2 years, sir.
You go on a radio show and you say, now some drunken Indians want to come down here and open a reservation.
I didn't say that, sir. Quote it. I didn't say that. Who said that? Who said that? I'd like an apology right now because I didn't say that.
Imus opened the broadcast, so, excuse me, Mr. Imus said that.
Okay, could I please have an apology?
You can have an apology.
Thank you, sir.
It looks a little,
Cheap?
yeah, it looks cheap.
Yeah, you mean the amount of money?
Well, the amount of money.
Not so bad. Somebody gets married and it doesn't work out, you get $1 million. I mean, you know, and I think $1 million is a lot of money.
No, you don't.
No, I don't, actually. But do you really think this is the right thing for us to be doing, Ivana?
What will people think?
Let them talk. Ivana. It's wrong, isn't it?
But it feels so right.
Then it's a deal?
Yes, we eat our pizza the wrong way.
Crust first.
Introducing stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut. With a ring of cheese baked into a totally new, thinner crust, you'll want to eat it the wrong way. Crust first.
May I have the last slice?
Actually, you're only entitled to half. See you in the limo.
All right.
Hello? I told you not to call me on this line again. That's better. I will say that last year, before I owned the Miss Universe contest, I went to the Miss Universe contest last year. It was in Las Vegas. And I felt that Alicia was one of the most beautiful women I'd ever seen. It was incredible. And all of the folks that were here agreed with that. Alicia is like me and like a lot of other people. I love to eat. We all love to eat. Not all of us. Some of you are lucky, but we eat. We like to eat. And she had tremendous pressure put on her with the win and everything else. Plus, she was going from country to country, all foreign places. And there was a huge amount of pressure. And some people, when they have pressure, don't eat. And some people, when they have pressure, eat too much, like me, but like Alicia. And I'm not even sure that he shouldn't have just gone in and taken the Fifth Amendment and said, look, I don't get along with this man, Starr.
he's after me, he's a Republican, he's this, he's that, and, you know, just taking the Fifth Amendment. It's a terrible thing for a president to take the Fifth Amendment, but he probably should have done it. I don't think he could have done any worse than what's happened. It's such an embarrassment to him. I mean, I see him walking around. It's like a terrible embarrassment.
And you think when you see him doing this, what comes to your head as a businessman about the miscalculation he made?
Well, it's just that there are so many miscalculations.
As you know, and the people in this room know better than anyone, putting money and investing money in Cuba right now doesn't go to the people of Cuba. It goes into the pockets of Fidel Castro. He's a murderer. He's a killer. He's a bad guy in every respect. And frankly, the embargo against Cuba must stand, if for no other reason than if it does stand, he will come down. He will tumble down, and it'll finally happen.
I'm not here to ask for Jesse's support at this point, because in all fairness to Jesse, I haven't even made the determination to run. If I do, I'll be back here very quickly, because there's nobody's support that I'd want more than his. But at this point, and as I said before in our speech, I'm not here for that. I'm here as a friend of Jesse, and I'm a big supporter of Jesse. I think he's done a great job, and I have a lot of I'm in Minnesota. I come to Minnesota quite a bit over the years. I know a lot of people that live here, and they love this man. He's done an amazing job. It's a tough situation, but you can't give up hope, because there's always hope. I mean, the 5 men, I'm sure their families thought that they probably were gone, and now they walk in the door. A couple of them walked away after they were dug out. So there probably are some more people in there, and therefore you can't give up hope.
You've had an impact on the skyline of New York. What is it like as you see it now?
It's like a whole different skyline. It's like a whole different city and world. I cannot believe the sight of Lower Manhattan without the World Trade Center, and therefore we have to rebuild, not necessarily in that form, but we have to rebuild at least as good and maybe better. I put together some really impressive deals, but this thing you've pulled off, it's amazing. A big and tasty for just $1? How do you do it? What's your secret?
欢迎大家评论区留言，请点赞关注，谢谢。